Here we go. Oh, we're live. Hey, everyone. This is Stephen with My Life Outdoors, and this is my wife, Celesta.
Hi.
And we are excited to be here with you. I actually have no idea what I'm doing because I've never done a live stream ever before. And so bear with me. But we're really glad that you're here today. Let's see. Okay, well, we got some different people here. I see Justin is here from Justin Outdoors. Justin, so glad that you joined us this evening. See what else we got here. Carrie and Evan, Jeff, I'm so glad that you're here this evening. So one of the things we're going to do, so the whole reason why I decided to do this live stream tonight is because I wanted to give you an opportunity to get to know me a little bit better. And so I spend a lot of time talking about backpacking, talking about gear, talking about all these amazing places that I get the wonderful opportunity to visit, but I don't spend a whole lot of time talking about myself. And so now that we've reached 25,000 subscribers, which I am completely beside myself that has even happened. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, for liking and commenting. It has absolutely blown me away. But now that we've reached 25,000 subscribers, I thought that we would take this opportunity to let you get to know me, my wife, just a little bit more. We can talk about backpacking some today, but we can also talk a little bit about life. Yeah, about all the things that happen in between backpacking trips. And so we're really glad that you're here. And one of the, okay, so my wife criticized me this week.
I do that a lot.
She criticized me
Gotta keep him
because
humble.
I decided to go with the whole lying motif for this evening's live stream because I thought a really good way to get to know me a little bit better, to get to know us a little bit better, would be to do two truths and a lie. Two things are true about myself and one thing that is a lie, and to incorporate it into a giveaway. And so I'm so very thankful that we have.
Somebody's asking what happened to your thumb.
What happened to my thumb? You guys can see that.
We have a baby and he was trying to keep her asleep and close the car door. Nothing even awesome, sorry. And he closed the car door on his own thumb.
That's right.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Close it. I actually think I'm going to lose it here pretty soon if you're interested in that.
Very dedicated to keeping a baby asleep in our family. So
when we say baby, would you say she's 2 years old? She's not.
That's
really
a baby. No, that's a baby.
Yeah. But okay, so two truths and a lie. We're going to incorporate that into a giveaway. So I'm very thankful that Garage Grown Gear has agreed to give away a $200 gift card so that you can buy anything that you want to off Garage Grown Gear. If you're not familiar with Garage Grown Gear, you need to go check them out. They've got lots of wonderful ultralight gear from all pretty much cottage manufacturers. And so if you want to know about all the different cottage companies that are out there making backpacking gear, Garage Grown Gear is a wonderful website to figure that out. And they sell a lot of it too. So $200 for anyone that guesses the one thing that I'm lying about tonight. Not anyone that guesses. Okay, so probably a lot of people you cannot win. And I thought about saying anybody that I've met in person, Justin, cannot win. And I know that I've got some other people on here probably that I've met in person. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the two truths about myself and one lie about myself. And I want you to try to guess in the comments which one I'm lying about. And from all the people that get it right, I will randomly select, probably before we're done this evening, randomly select the winner from all the people that got it right. If you don't get it right, you don't have a chance to win. So you're going to have to try really hard to figure out what it is that I'm lying about. And so we're going to get started with that. We won't give away the truth just yet. I'm going to wait till a little bit longer in the stream before we do that. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you the things about myself that you're going to have to guess what I'm lying about, okay? So, 3 things about myself. One of them is a lie. I am a stay-at-home dad. I was once stranded in the backcountry of the Grand Canyon with a flat tire, and I drove a Bronco before it was cool to drive a Bronco. So those are the 3 things about me. You have to decide which one of those is the truth. 2 of those are the truth. One of those is a lie. And so go ahead and put your guesses in the comment section. We will scroll through those here in a little bit. And
Someone said it was always cool to drive a Bronco. I
it was
thought
it
that.
was always cool.
Yep,
That's right.
agreed.
Well, okay, so what I say is, the new Broncos have come out, and so I'm seeing more and more of
Oh,
those pop up all over town, all over the place, and so maybe you have too, and I was driving a Bronco long before it was cool to drive one, when a lot of people weren't driving Broncos. Okay, so let's see here. See, I'm gonna look through some of the comments here, see what we got. Like I said, I've never done this before, never done a live stream, so you're gonna have to bear with me on some of this. We've got some questions that a lot of you submitted beforehand, and my wife is gonna ask me some of those here in a minute. But we're also gonna allow you to ask questions live.
I
And
already saw
so,
one. Somebody asked if you would ever come east, like the Adirondacks of New York or Whites of New Hampshire.
okay, so would I ever come east? I have come east before. So I've hiked 30 miles of the Appalachian Trail just south of the Smoky Mountains. I actually, so this was, when was this? It was about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. There was some sort of, like, I think it was actually the plague was affecting the Appalachian Trail, and there were tons and tons of hikers. They're getting sick. Anybody that stayed in some of the shelters on the Appalachian Trail, like, would end up just getting like terribly vomiting, diarrhea, sick from staying in the shelters, or something that was on the surface of the shelters and all those kinds of things. And I had planned to do 30 miles through the Smoky Mountains with a friend of mine. And we found out about this, that it was, there was water sources there that they felt like had been contaminated because of this virus that was going around. And a lot of people, anyway, that was staying in the shelters, was getting sick. And the Smoky Mountains would not allow you to tent camp unless the shelters were full. And so if the shelters were full, then you could get out of tent and you could camp near the shelter. But if the shelters were not full, you had to sleep in the shelter, and you could be cited. You could get a ticket from one of the park rangers if you refused. And so I changed my plans at the last minute to hike just south of the Smoky Mountains National Park, and did 30 miles southbound. And I was actually hitting the northbound through hiker bubble right about that time. And so it was actually pretty neat, because I was passing about 100 through hikers a day, as they were all the northbound hikers were heading north.
Mhm.
And so about 100 hikers a day, we would see them and we get to talk to them, and we would go to the shelters, and they would pile in like sardines into the shelters, and then me and my friend would set up our tent, and we would just listen to them and all that kind of stuff. So I've hiked about 30 miles on the Appalachian Trail. I did, so you and I did the Adirondacks together.
Mhm.
We hiked to Avalanche Lake, and what was the other lake?
Mm,
Uh, Colburn, was it Colburn?
Colden, Colden,
Colden.
Colden.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lake Colden and
mhm.
Colden Peak. And
It was very difficult.
it was very difficult. And so one of the things that was really interesting to me about that, and so the Adirondacks, the way that I understand it, and I'm talking off the cuff here right now, and so I don't have this information right in front of me, but the way I understand the Adirondacks, it's one of the oldest hiking areas in the United States. Like, they had trails there long before a lot of our places that we love to go hiking now have trails. And one of the things we noticed about that is, in the Adirondacks, like, there's no trail design in the Adirondacks. Like, if you want to get to the top of a peak, they are cutting a line straight to the top of the peak, and there's no switchbacks. There's no, if the mountain gets too steep for you to actually walk it, they build ladders, and you just climb the ladders to be able to go to wherever it is you want to go. And so we actually hiked to Avalanche Lake, and Avalanche Lake, at some points, there's just solid cliff walls going straight into the water of Avalanche Lake. And most places, the people that were designing the trails would be like, well, you can't go that way, it's a cliff face. But not in the Adirondacks. In the Adirondacks, they build a catwalk straight out of the side of the cliff face, and they put boards out there and bolt it straight into the wall, and you can walk straight on the side of the cliff. Because, I mean, if you want to go there, well, they're going to build a trail, and you're going to be able to go there.
We had to do like a 6-foot jump at one point from like a rock to like a bridge,
Yeah.
and I refused to do it on the way back.
Yeah. And so we decided not to do that, because we didn't like the way that we had to jump from one rock to a bridge. And so we decided to go back a different way, and we ended up getting on these bog bridges. There's bog bridges everywhere in the Adirondacks, at least from my experience. And this one area was a big marshy, swampy area, and it filled up with water, and the bog bridges were floating,
Mm.
not designed to float, mind you. They just happened to be floating, because of how much water had come through there. And you never knew if you were going to step on a bog bridge and it was going to sink into the water, or what. And some of them had floated away, and so they weren't even connected anymore. And so we had to hike through that area and try to not to get wet.
You made it.
And we did.
You're
We
alive.
made it. We made it all the way through, and not to get wet. So, all that to say, would I ever go east? I've gone east a few
Mo
times. I'm in love with the west.
most people are betting that the flat tire is a lie. Somebody even said they thought you would be better prepared than that.
Better
So,
prepared. Okay,
mhm.
so I'm not going to give away the answer just yet. We're going to give a little bit of time. We'll give an opportunity for more people to log on and more people to have a chance to win. And so we have some questions here that my wife is going to ask, and we're going to give you an opportunity to just get to know us a little bit better. So,
I'm gonna pick the first one.
okay,
Why did you start your channel?
why did I start my channel? I actually didn't really want to. So I had a blog for a very long time. So mylifeoutdoors.com was a blog that I started way back in, I want to say
2008, 9?
2008 or 9 is
Yeah.
what I was going to say. And the whole reason why I started the blog was because I was actually on a Jeep forum. I'd gotten a new Jeep Commander, which I don't even think they make anymore. And it wasn't new. It was new to me, but I was really excited about my Jeep Commander, and I got on this jeepcommander.com forum, and I was hanging out with all those guys talking about Jeeps and all those kind of stuff. And some guy joined the forum, and he had a blog called My Jeep Life, and started talking about all the success that he'd had blogging with My Jeep Life and all the brands that he connected with and all the different things that he got to do as a result of having this blog. And I just was listening, or reading rather, all the things that he would comment in this forum. And I thought, man, this sounds really neat. Like, this sounds like something I would like to do. But I thought, I don't want to make a blog about Jeeps. Like, what do I want to make a blog about? And so I decided I wanted to do it about the outdoors. And at that time, it was going to focus on, and it did focus for a long time, about skiing, backpacking, kayaking, hiking, rock climbing. I mean, anything that you can imagine that you could do outdoors, is what the blog was about. But then it went away for a little while because I had some problems with, I was using a free blogging service called Blogger that actually is owned by Google. I'm not even sure if Google does that anymore. And something went down with the blog, and it like disappeared from public view for a while. And I was stressed from my full-time job at that time, and so I couldn't figure out. And you can't just call Google and be like, "Hey, Google, I've got a issue with my Blogger blog. Can you help me sort it out?" Like they're like, dig through a forum and figure out what's the matter with it. And so for a long time, I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't visible anymore. And then in 2019, I decided I needed to revive it, and I just switched it over from Blogger to a privately hosted blog, and I started blogging a little bit again. And a friend of mine was like, "Dude, man, like, you're a terrible speller and you don't know how to use grammar. Why are you writing blogs?" He's like, "You're much better on video, or you're much better at making videos. Why don't you start a YouTube channel?" I was like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like a lot of work, which it is.
Mm.
It is quite a bit of work.
Mm.
And I was like, but I don't know. I'll give it a try. And so I'm going to say it was like May of 2019. I made my first video and put out 5 videos total in 2019. And then life stress got in the way, and I didn't do anything through all of 2020 during the pandemic. I didn't publish a single video. And then March of 2021, I went with a friend to the Grand Canyon. We were going to do 3 nights. Yeah, 3 nights in the Grand Canyon. And I decided that I was going to make a video and I was going to post again. And so I started doing that. And then after that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try to do 1 video a week. And so for most of the time, since March of 2021 until now, I've had a video out every week. There's been a few times that I didn't get a video out, and I've gone 2 weeks. I think that's the longest I've gone without posting a video is 2 weeks. And so there's been 2 or 3 times where I went 2 weeks without posting a video, but for the most part, I post a video. And so that's why I started my channel, because a friend of mine said, "You should start a channel." So I was like, all right. And I did.
There you go. Somebody had asked, how do you win the giveaway?
How do you win? Okay, so for those of you that just got here, I'm doing 2 truths and a lie. 2 things are true about myself, and 1 thing is a lie. And if you guess what I'm lying about, then you will be one of the people that we will draw randomly before the end of the broadcast tonight to win $200 from Garage Grown Gear. So the 3 things about me, 1 of them is a lie. So I'm a stay-at-home dad. I was once stranded in the backcountry of the Grand Canyon with a flat tire, and I drove a Bronco before it was cool. So those are the 3 things about me. 1 of those is a lie. You got to figure out which one it is. Comment, and we will randomly select someone from the correct answers Randomly select someone from the correct answers to win $200 from Garage Grown Gear. Okay, let's give it a little bit more time though before we give the answer.
Okay. Next question. How many states have you backpacked in? We actually just had to do the math.
We did, yeah. So we were thinking about it right before we logged on, and we think it's about 15 states. So if we're just talking about backpacking, I've gone backpacking about 15 different states. So just to give you an idea of what some of those are, going across from the top: Washington, Montana, New York. Did we backpack in Oregon? I don't think we backpacked in Oregon. We've hiked there.
Yeah.
We haven't
Yeah,
backpacked
no.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not Oregon, but California, Utah. Okay, so I'm not going in order now. Colorado,
Keeping up.
New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, North Carolina, Oklahoma. Did I say Arkansas already? I don't know.
I don't think you did.
Those are some of the states, but I think it's 15 total I've backpacked in. Then if you're going to count just hiking, like day hiking and stuff like that, then we could probably add another 5 to 10 states onto that. So how many states we've been to?
I think this is a good question. Question
Okay.
from Jeff from Dose of Dirt.
Dose of Dirt.
If you could only hike one trail the rest of your life, which would it be?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so if there's only one trail that you could hike the rest of your life. Okay, and so when I first thought about this, I thought about trails that I've actually hiked. But now that I'm thinking about it here, I'm thinking
you should pick something long.
Pick something long, right? Because
Yeah.
you get a lot of variety.
Mhm.
And so so my first answer was going to be the John Muir Trail. Was going to be high on my list as the last trail. If I could only hike one trail the rest of my life, it's going to be the John Muir Trail because I've done 40 miles. We both have done 40 miles on the John Muir Trail. Absolutely amazing trail. If I ever through hike anything, that'll probably be the first trail that I decide to through hike. I've actually never done a through hike, for those of you that are wondering. But out of the big trails in the United States, out of the Appalachian, the Continental Divide, and the Pacific Crest, the Pacific Crest is probably the one that I would choose to hike. And so that would probably be the one that I would pick if that was the last trail that I could ever hike ever again. I would probably pick the Pacific Crest Trail.
Mm.
And so it's got a lot of variety, got a lot of scenery.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a good trail to hike. Have you looked at any of the questions? Do we have any live questions that have been coming through?
Yeah, somebody asked, oh wait, I just wrote best, hold on. You scrolled too much.
I scrolled too much. I'm so sorry.
What would be the place you want to backpack the most?
And so the place that I tend to backpack the most is Colorado. I love Colorado. I think Colorado's got a lot to offer. I think most of the wilderness areas in Colorado could all be national parks if they were all in different states other than Colorado. So Colorado's got Rocky Mountain National Park, and then it's got some national monuments, but I think those are the only national parks that Colorado has. But all the wilderness areas that you go to in Colorado are national park level scenery, national park level hiking. And I think there's just so many of them that if they all made them into national parks, they'd be like, well, the state is nothing but national parks. And so Colorado is probably one of my favorite places to hike. It's not too far from me. It's not too far to drive from me. So I can drive there. I can fly there pretty cheaply. And so I spend a lot of time hiking in Colorado. I've actually got plans to hike in Colorado coming up in June. I'm really excited about that. I'm probably going to do about 30, I can't remember. I think it's either 30 or 40 miles through the Holy Cross Wilderness in Colorado. And so I've hiked there before, and it is one of my favorite areas to hike in. But Colorado is probably Colorado or Montana, because Montana is just some of the most beautiful scenery that I've ever seen in my entire life. Which I did notice. So one of the questions that isn't on here, but I did notice, was someone said that Justin, who's here in the comment section, that we actually got to hike together recently through Utah and Coyote Gulch, and they said that Justin came down to the States to hike. Is there any plans for me to go up to Canada to hike? Which I would love to hike in Canada. And so I've always wanted to visit Banff. I've always wanted to visit Jasper and that whole area. I feel like all the western half of Canada, and probably the eastern half too, is all just absolutely beautiful, just mountains as far as you can see, is the way that I picture it in my head. And so I actually, whenever Justin and I talked about getting together, I offered to come to Canada to hike with him a little bit this summer, but he's got plans to go hiking abroad this summer, and so he didn't have enough of a schedule open for me to go join him,
Mm,
and he was coming to the States, and so I just joined him here in Utah. So
mm.
there you go. There's a question that
I'm
wasn't even on the
I'm
list.
gonna ask some YouTube specific questions
Okay,
now.
YouTube specific.
So what is the this is from Short Guys Beta Works.
Okay, another great channel you guys should check out.
Best and worst part of filming on trips.
Okay, so the best part about filming on trips is I want to say it's having the footage. And so having the memories, having being able to go back and look
Mm,
at it. And so one of the things I absolutely love about so I don't know if you noticed, if you would please go and watch some of my trip report videos because they do not get as many views. So I just last week I put out the Coyote Gulch hike, and it's gotten I think 1,700 views, which is fairly low compared to other views that I get on videos. And so they just don't get the views that other videos get, the gear videos get. Um, but I still put them out because I love having those videos. I love making those videos. I love being able to go back and see them. If I'm going to go back and rewatch a video that I made, those are the ones I'm most likely to go back and watch. And I love putting them on big screen on the at the house. I love putting them on the big TV and watching those videos. And so that's probably my favorite part about filming on the trail is having the footage. And then along with that, drawing my attention to things that I probably wouldn't pay as much attention to if I wasn't trying to think about, okay, what's the next shot that I need to get? What's a good angle that I need to get? What is something? How do I document this a little bit better? And so it draws my attention to things about the trail that normally my attention would not go to. The worst part about it is constantly having to think about, okay, I should probably get a shot of this. Okay, I should probably get some footage of me doing this. Okay, I need to put the camera here and I need to walk, I don't know, 100 to 200 feet.
it's
and
much
then
nicer if I'm
and
with
then I
him.
need to turn around and come back. And so, if you watch our Olympic Park hike that we did last year in the oh goodness, what was the name of that rainforest that we hiked in? I can't even remember. But we did. So we did Enchanted Valley is the
Mhm.
what I'm trying to think of. That's not the name of the rainforest, but that's the destination we went to. So my wife was with me. We did Enchanted Valley hike, and she would stay back with a camera for a lot of the footage. She would stay back with a camera, and then I would just hike by myself, and then she would bring, and then she'd turn it off and she'd bring it to me, and I wouldn't have to go back. But then when I was putting the footage together, I realized that it looked weird that she was in some of the shots and then some of the shots she wasn't. And so for like the first like 4 or 5 shots, like she wasn't there, and then all of a sudden,
I
boom,
appeared
she was in the video with me, and I was like,
secretly where you found
something's
me
not
is
right
in the
about
back
this. So
country
that's
of,
where we met and got
of
married. Was on a
Washington.
bridge in Enchanted Valley. No, and so I realized that it was weird not having the other person I'm hiking with in the video. And so, and then the Coyote Gulch hike was the most recent hike that I did, and Justin was there, and he not only would stay back by my camera some of the time and bring it to me, but most of the time when he set up a camera and I set up a camera, both of us, he would run back and he would grab both of the cameras. And I started feeling bad about that. If you watch that video all the way to the end, then you'll hear me saying to him like, we really need to start taking turns going back to get the camera because I was feeling so bad because
I wouldn't have offered to do that
he would
for you
always go back
at
and get.
all. Mm-mm.
Oh, Canadians are nice. That's what you always hear.
I'm half Canadian.
Well, there you go.
Mm.
That's why you're as nice as you are. So that's the worst part is having to think about, okay, I should get a shot of this when you really just want to be enjoying whatever it is and having to go back and get the camera. That's the worst part about it. So I saw just a moment ago that we had a somebody donate. So Ryan Archer donated $5. I've never done this before, and so I don't know what that's called when you do that, but I know there's like a super or some other type of levels of donating.
Mhm.
And so thank you, Ryan, so very much for giving us $5. I actually set that up just this week, and it actually told me that I didn't have access to it, and I was like, how do I get access to it? I have no idea. I've been making videos for a while, but I've never done live streams, so I'm new to this. But okay, so for those of you that just now got here, hold on.
Okay.
Let's remind them of the two truths and a lie. So the way that you win the $200 from Garage Grown Gear, you have to guess what it is I'm lying about from these 3 statements about myself. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I drove a Bronco before it was cool, and I was once stranded in the backcountry of the Grand Canyon with a flat tire. So those are the 3 things. Probably here in the next 5 minutes or so. Well, maybe after the next question or two, I will give the answer. So you got a little bit of a chance to guess which one of those is the lie, and then we will randomly select from the correct answers. Ryan Libby just donated $5. Thank you very much, Ryan. And so, way to go, all the Ryans in the comment section giving money tonight. I appreciate that. If your name is Ryan, there's a precedent set now. You have to give $5 or leave the chat. No, actually, that's not true. You don't have to leave.
Now everybody's guessing again. All right, next question. There's so many good ones. Okay, people want to know because they say that your channel banner has no beard, and they would like to know, how long have you had your beard?
Okay, so the beard actually came about. I don't know how long ago it was that I started growing the beard, but so I had a goatee for a very long time. It was a very short trim goatee, and one year for No Shave November, I was challenged to grow a beard during No Shave November, and so I did. And my wife actually told me that she would not kiss me anymore if I had a beard, and I was like, "Oh, it's just a month." And so I decided to go ahead and accept the challenge, and I grew the beard out for No Shave November. And then come December, I still had the beard, but it was early in December, and I was trying to trim it up a little bit, and it was a very short and trim beard, and I was trying to like clean it up a little bit, and I like nicked it in this weird way, and there was like this like weird gash in the beard, and I was in the bathroom, and she was in the bedroom, and I said, "Well, I think I'm going to shave my beard." And from the bedroom, she said, "No." It's because she had grown to love the beard during that whole month.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I grew it out. I kept it short and trim for a very long time. So I had the beard, but it was short beard. And in that photo, which actually is standing above Catherine Lake in New Mexico, which is one of my favorite places to visit. And so in that photo, I have a beard, but it's very short and trim, and you just can't tell from the photo. And so then I grew it out, I want to say in 2013 is when I grew it out long like this. And I actually I trim it up a little bit on the sides, but I don't ever make it shorter. And this is as long as it will get. It has grown to this length, and it says no more. I will not grow even an inch longer.
True fact. One time we were hiking in Tennessee, and I was walking next to him, and a spider legitimately dropped out of his beard and then crawled back up into the beard. And so we don't know what is in there, but it could be anything.
It could be anything. Somebody said, somebody commented on a video earlier this week, said, do you hide stuff in your beard to lower your base weight? And not my beard, in my beard to lower my base weight. And I was like, I mean, I guess that would work if I had something. I could like stick like a toothbrush or
Spider beard trail name. That's a good trail
spider
name.
beard.
I like it. We're keeping that.
I do like that. Spider beard. All right. Okay, so let's do one more question, and then I will give the truth about the 2 truths and a lie. And so just one more reminder before you ask the question. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I drove a Bronco before it was cool, and I once was stranded in the backcountry of the Grand Canyon with a flat tire. One of those things is a lie. 2 of them are true. If you guess which one is a lie, you will be entered into a chance to win $200.
Someone asked if you could store a Kitkat, and I do think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's very dense.
Yeah.
Inside there.
It is.
And so,
whenever I vacuum my car, I just find little beard hairs in it. It's pretty.
I like to do this, and it pulls out little hairs, and then they just get everywhere. So.
Okay. Oh, I'm trying to decide between 2 questions. This one's just funny because I've noticed it too, and I want to know who asked this question. Do you always look to the right before you make a point?
Yes. Yes, I do. I don't know what it is. Someone's commented on it before, and they said, please stop looking to the right. And so I actually tried really hard not to for a few videos because of that comment. But it just, I don't know, it's like just staring at the camera all the time. It just feels like it needs something to break that up every once in a while. And so when I rewatch the videos, I feel like it feels more natural if I look away every once in a while. And for some reason, my tendency is to look to the right. And so I don't ever seem to look left, but I will try to vary it up. Just for all of you, I will try to vary it up, and I will try to look left.
Can I ask another one just because I think it's really important?
Okay, one more, and then we're going to give the answer to the questions.
Is a taco a sandwich?
Is a taco a sandwich? So I saw this one on the list, and
Mhm.
I've been thinking about this.
Really,
And
really
so and
pondering
so
it.
what defines a sandwich? So a sandwich is 2 loaves of bread.
Oh, wait, somebody's wanting you to answer a question.
Oh, it's more important than the taco.
Yeah, well, they were saying, "Could you answer the question?" They woke up at 2 a.m. for the stream.
Oh,
Yeah,
what is
we
the
wanna
question?
what's the question? Um,
What is the question? Woke up at 2 a.m.
mm,
just to ask me a question.
mm.
Thank you so much for
Ask
being here.
ask the question again, and we'll answer it. I
Yes.
can't find it. Anyway, go.
All right. So is a taco sandwich? I was thinking about this. What is the definition of a sandwich? It's 2 loaves of bread, or not 2 loaves of bread,
Mm,
but 2 slices, 2 pieces of bread with something in between, right? Is a
mm.
sandwich.
I don't
And
know.
so technically a taco would either be 1 piece of bread if it's a tortilla, or 1 piece of chip if it's a hard taco. And so technically, I feel like it's not a sandwich because there's not 2 pieces surrounding the contents of the middle.
Mhm. Uh,
The questions you've always wanted to know right here at My Life Outdoors: is a taco a sandwich? Okay, did you catch the question that someone woke up at 2
the
a.m. to
2
ask?
a.m. question is, at which point would you stop a hike based on physical health?
Based on physical health. And so I'm assuming that means like that I feel like I just can't go on anymore because something has happened, like I've broken a leg or I've gotten sick. Actually, I talked about hiking the Appalachian Trail um,
One of our
a
kids
little
got
while ago.
hypothermia on a
That's
trip with
right.
you. He did
Yes,
not stop that hike,
and
so
I did not. No, no. I said you snap out of it, and we kept going. Um,
did not say that.
and so, but the whole trip of the Appalachian Trail, like I had some sort of like cold or upper respiratory issue, and I continued to hike. Um, So I am a Zoleo ambassador, and so if you're thinking about a satellite communicator, I highly recommend the Zoleo communication device. But I've carried spot devices for years before I decided to switch to Zoleo. I switched to Zoleo before I became an ambassador, and I loved it so much that I joined their ambassador program. Um, and I thought about like what would it take for me to push the button to
Mm,
get out of there. And what I've decided is if I if I felt like I could not get out on my own. Um, but if I felt like I could get out on my own, or if I felt like I could um, survive, is that the right way to word that? I don't know. Until someone found me, until someone could help me. I don't know. I don't know. Basically, if I felt like I could not do it on my own, is the answer to that. Then I would push the button to have search and rescue come and find me. If I had broken my leg, if I was stranded, if I was out of food or water, and it was going to take more time than I had to get out, that's when I would push the button because I feel like there's a little bit of responsibility there between pushing the button and having search and rescue come and get you, and you don't actually need it necessarily. Like you're just a little worried or anxious or whatever the case may be, but you actually could hike out on your own. Now, if you were lost or something like that, um, and so if I couldn't hike anymore, I've even thought about if gear failed to the point that I couldn't carry it anymore, like if I had like a shoulder strap just blow out or something on a backpack, um, I think I would still try to either carry the gear or abandon it. I mean, I would go back for it. I wouldn't just leave it there forever. But exit the trail um, until as long as I could on my own before I would push the button. And so that's when I would stop a hike, is if I just physically could not continue because I had a broken leg or I was hypothermic or I was
mm,
uncontrollably vomiting or whatever the case may be. And so I actually think that's a good segue into the answer about what is the truth and what is a lie. And so for those of you that have been trying to guess, the 3 things one more time is I'm a stay-at-home dad. I drove a Bronco before it was cool, and I once got stranded in the backcountry with a flat tire. And so which one of those is the lie? Do you wanna answer?
do you want me to answer? I'll
I mean,
answer.
I'll tell the story.
The lie is, he got a flat tire in the back country of the Grand Canyon.
I actually got 2 flat tires in the backcountry of the Grand Canyon. So it's a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? An omission rather than a lie, because I mean I can't lie to you guys.
Hmm,
So I admitted the fact that I actually got 2 flat tires. And so my wife and I once visited the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We were going, and we had two of our kids. So we have 4 kids, by the way. And so 2 of them had not been born yet. So we had 2 of our kids, and we had a friend of one of our kids that was with us. And
A technicality.
a technicality,
You did get a flat tire. Mhm.
So I didn't even lie.
Yeah, there you go. You lied without lying.
I lied without lying. So nobody wins. I get to keep the $200. I'm just kidding. But okay, so that's the one I'm counting as a lie, even though there's a technicality. So we got 2 flat tires. We were on the north rim. We'd gone to the south rim. Or no, we actually didn't go to the south rim. We had heard that 90% of the people that visit the Grand Canyon visit the south rim, and I actually don't like people all that very much. I like all of you, but I don't like other people. And so
You don't like people when they're in the forest with you.
in the wilderness with me.
You don't want them there.
And so we decided that we wanted to go to the north rim. It's like about a 5-hour additional drive to get to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And we decided that it was worth it for 90% less people. And so we drove there. It still felt very crowded on the north rim. This was Memorial Day weekend in the Grand Canyon. It's still very crowded. But we'd heard about Point Sublime. And the Point Sublime is a 20-mile Jeep road drive to a backcountry site that you can drive to as long as you've got a vehicle that can make it out there. And you can have it all to yourself. And it's this beautiful point that goes way out into the Grand Canyon. And you have the whole canyon, it feels like a 360-degree view that just surrounds you. And we decided that we wanted to go out there to get away from some of the people. We'd heard that 2 people had gotten stranded out there already earlier that week. And so we got about 10 miles in on this Jeep road, just some of the gnarliest Jeep road I've ever driven in my life. And there was a Honda Civic out there that someone had tried to drive. And they need to be given an award or something, because as far as they got,
They actually did make it.
They made it very
much
far.
further than you would think a Honda Civic would make it.
Very impressive. But that was the person that got stranded out there. And so we're like, well, no wonder they got stranded. And so we drove all the rest of the way out there. We stayed the night at Point Sublime. We got to see the sunset. Yeah. We got to see the sunrise. It was absolutely gorgeous. We'd heard that if you continue down that Jeep road, there was like 2 or 3 other remote points in the Grand Canyon that you could visit. And so we decided and then you could get out into the Kitkat National Forest, and that the National Forest roads were actually better, is what someone had told us. And so we drove out to the other 3 points, visited those, got out on the National Forest road, and it felt like, from the roads that we've been driving, it felt like highway, like super highway. We were going 35 and even 40 miles an hour. It felt so great. That's how fast we were driving. So we were just cruising down these roads, and my tire light went off, and it made a ding, and it dinged twice. It went ding, ding. And I was like, that's a little strange. Never heard it ding twice before. And so I said to my wife, I was like, I better get out and check this. And so we pulled over. I got out. Sure enough, I had a flat tire, but I had a full-size spare. And so I was like, you know what? No problem. I'm just going to have to unload all this camping gear out of the back and get the spare out so that I can change it. And so I was like, you know what? Hey, everyone, why don't y'all get out, stretch your legs. Beautiful Kitkat National Forest. Actually, I think it's a Kaibab. It's a Kaibab National Forest.
We're going to National Forest, Utah.
Kitkat, Utah. That's right. Kaibab National Forest. And I was like, get out, stretch your legs. It's going to be a little while while I change the tire. And my wife gets out, and she's stretching her legs, and she says, sweetheart, this tire's flat too. Miles from nowhere, no cell phone service, no satellite communication device, and 2 flat tires. And I was like, what are we going to do? And so I thought about it, and I said to my wife, you know, I saw a Mythbusters one time where
it's not what I wanted to hear at all.
I saw Mythbusters one time where they had a flat tire, but they had no spare. And so what they did was they cut a slit in the sidewall of the tire, and they stuffed the tire full of hay, as thick as they could, hay, until the hay filled up the tire where air would have filled up the tire. And then they drove out on that hay-filled tire. And so I was like, we don't have any hay, but we have got as many pine needles as you can imagine. And so I had my whole family. I was like, just start pulling pine needles off trees and gather them up off the ground. That may not be leave no trace, just pulling pine needles off trees, but get as many pine needles as you can. And I cut a slit in the sidewall of the tire, and I started stuffing it full of pine needles until I had it almost full. It weighed like 200 something pounds. It was so heavy. and I was just about to put it back on the car and try to drive out of there when somebody else in a off-road vehicle came up behind me and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well," and so I explained what I was doing, and he was like, "You know,
I think that would have worked. I think that would work.
I think that might work." He's like, "But I've got a patch kit in the car if you want to do that." And I was like, "No, not really. Like, I kind of want to drive on this tire and see if
I
it
kind
works."
of did not. Yeah.
But my family was there, and we had a friend of our daughter who was there, and I was like, "You know what? I should do it the right way." And so I took the tire that I had not cut a slit in the sidewall yet, so I put the full size spare on one side, the other tire that did not have a slit in the sidewall yet, and I patched it with the tire patch kit. And he had a pump, and we put it on the car, and we drove out 60 miles to Kanap, Utah, and got the tire changed. And when they dropped the tire, so I put the tire full of pine needles up underneath the car where the spare was, and they dropped that and they pulled the rim off of it, and it looked like some sort of weird
Christmas
Christmas
wreath.
wreath with all these pine needles just sticking out of the tire. And if I was better at live streaming, then I would have a way to show you a photo of that. And so you can actually go to mylifeoutdoors.com,
Mm.
and there is a blog post about that trip, and so you can see all kinds of photos and the Honda Civic. It might have been an Accord or something like that. I don't know what the car was, but you can see all kinds of photos and a write up about that. If you're interested, go check it out. So that is
The lie.
the lie.
Mhm.
It was 2 flat tires. It was not 1 flat tire. And so I am I'm a stay-at-home dad, but I guess I wouldn't say that I do that full time necessarily. I guess I do it full time,
Mm.
but I'm also now doing YouTube full time, and so or I'm doing both of them part time. I don't know. I stay at home with my kids all through the week, and I make videos while they're at school, and I publish them here. And so that is true. And my daily driver is a 1988 Ford Bronco, blued Ford Bronco. Which again, if I knew how to do live streams better than I do, if I was making a video, I'd pull up some B-roll of the Bronco right now. But maybe I can go back and edit this and put some of that in there.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you watch this later, not live, there might be some B-roll if I find time to do that,
Or not.
or there might not be.
You're leaving on a trip tomorrow.
I
so-
am. I am. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's see here. We got about 10 minutes left in the broadcast to figure out who the
Oh,
winner is.
I wrote down.
You wrote down some
numbers.
people?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
I'm just gonna
So you're just going to
pick a
randomly
number
select one.
random. Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me for a second. Excuse me. All right. So while you are randomly selecting one, I will answer one more question off this list. Let's see here. If you could only use one backpack the rest of your life, which backpack would it be? And this is from Southern Hike, another great channel that you should check out. And so we've had, so we got Justin Outdoors who's here. And actually, he's got a really good question too. So I'm gonna have to answer both of those.
Mhm.
And so Short Guy, Beta Works, Dose of Dirt, Southern Hike are all channels that have asked questions tonight. And so thank you guys for asking those questions and for supporting the channel. So which was the one that I said, okay, if I could only use one backpack. So my favorite backpack right now, the one that I tend to be going to every time I catch myself kind of favoring right now, is the Hyperlight Mountain Gear Southwest 3400. And so I find myself favoring that pack for some reason. Like if I don't have a pack that I feel like I need to have some trail time and I need to do some testing on, then that's the one I kind of grab. Probably second up to that is the Waymark Light. It's probably my second favorite pack right now. I'm actually not using either of those on the trip that I'm leaving on for this next week because I'm having to do a 3-day water carry. I'm backpacking an area where there is absolutely no water. Stay tuned or subscribe if you haven't already to find videos about that. And so I'm going to be carrying 20 pounds worth of water. And I just felt like the Southwest 3400 maybe wasn't up to that. And so I'm not going to be using it this week. So same is true for the Waymark Light Pack. So
Somebody's surprised by a 3-day water carry.
a 3-day water
Stay
carry.
tuned. You'll have to figure out where he went.
I mean, subscribe, ring the bell, do all those things because I'm going to be doing a video about a 3-day water carry. I'm
You need a burro.
What is it?
You need a burro.
I do.
You could probably get one.
So the destination that I'm going, absolutely no water at all. Sometimes there's a spring, but it's unreliable, so I can't count on it. And so I'm packing in, and it's also the temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer. I'm not going to give away the destination just yet, so you're gonna have to wait to find out. But I'm taking 3 liters of water per day, and I'm actually worried that may not be enough. Um, so, but hopefully that's going to be enough water. So all that together is right about 20 pounds of water, that's a lot.
Mm.
So, all right. And then the other one that I will answer before we do before we give away the answer, or before we give away the winner. And this was from Justin, asked this earlier, I think on my Instagram. He said, what piece of gear do you wish had a standard rating? Like sleeping bags have ISO rating and sleeping pads have the ATSM rating. And so you kind of know, whether or not, what you can expect from those pieces of gear as far as, what kind of temperatures are going to be able to handle. And so as I thought about that, and I thought, I mean, like, tents don't really matter in that, because I mean, I guess you could do, which they even do have ratings, as far as waterproofing and things like that. Um, but I mean, they're not going to do any kind of warmth rating on those, I guess, because with a 4-season tent and like stoves, I mean, I guess you have BTU ratings and things like that on stoves. And so, like, I was thinking about the different gear, and the only thing I could come up with, which would be a piece of gear I wish had a standard rating, are down jackets or puffy jackets, insulated jackets. And so, like, when you're buying one jacket from another, like, I mean, you don't really know until you get it what kind of temperatures it's going to handle. I mean, like, if it's a thicker jacket, then it's going to be able to handle colder temperatures. But they don't really have any standard ratings. And actually, even as I'm saying this, like, I'm sitting there thinking, do they? And I just don't know about it. And someone's going to comment and be like, they do,
Let us
which
know.
which
Yeah,
happens all the time. Like, people comment all the time on my videos and be like, actually, you're an idiot, and this is the
it's
this is the
me. That's
reality.
always just me.
Yeah, she's got a bunch of anonymous channels that she goes on and insults me
Insults you.
regularly. Okay, so winner for the $200 garage grown gear.
The winner, you want me to announce it? Somebody wants us to switch glasses to announce, but I don't think I can read with your glasses. Can you read
Switch
with mine?
glasses?
We have like mine are transitioned to bifocals, so I don't think you can read through
No,
mine,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
don't think I could read with yours
no.
because
This is
we're sighted
interesting.
very
It's an
differently. But
interesting request.
it is. Um, the winner is Kim and Jeff went back on PCT. On
Kim
the
and Jeff went
PCT,
back on PCT. Went back?
went back.
Went back. Went back on the PCT. So, Kim and Jeff, if you can email me at steven.outdoors@gmail.com and let me know if we can connect through that, then I will find a way to get that $200 gift card from Garage Grown Gear to you. And if I don't hear from you, then I will pick another winner, and we will try to get in
they're saying
contact.
yay.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
yay.
All right. So email me at steven.outdoors@gmail.com. That's Steven with a V, STEVEN .outdoors@gmail.com. Email me, and we will connect through that, and I will get that $200 Garage Grown Gear gift card to you. So we're right about here at the end of an hour. And so, were there any other questions from the live feed that you felt like we needed to answer? You've been watching it. I haven't been watching it a whole lot. So is there anything? Last chance for some good questions.
Yeah. Any
Right now.
burning questions that you want to know?
Yeah. Anything you want to know. I won't guarantee that I'll answer it, but if I feel comfortable answering it, I will.
That's a really
So,
diplomatic way to say that.
all right. I'm not seeing anything. Let's see here. Anything else? What's the best free editing software that I can recommend? That's one of the ones that just stood out to me a second ago. I actually don't know. I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and I would not stop using it because it does everything that I want to do and more.
Fishing? No, we don't fish.
Favorite person to watch on YouTube? So one of the reasons why I wanted to hike with Justin is because he is actually one of my favorite channels on YouTube, and so I actually do watch quite a bit of YouTube. I told Justin while we were hiking together this last trip, I said that I feel like he is the most legit backpacking channel there is on the YouTubes, if that's the way you say it, because he's always just hiking in these crazy Canadian conditions and adventures and all those kinds of things. And so I always felt like he's just a legit awesome backpacker. So he's probably one of my favorite channels to watch. But I watch a lot of the channels. So a lot of channels we mentioned tonight, I watch a lot of those videos. Excuse me. Sometimes I don't always comment. Sometimes I'm just kind of like quiet in the background. Sometimes I do comment. But all those channels I watch Dan Becker. I watch Justin Outdoors. I watch Devin from Backcountry Exposure. I watch Southern Hike. I watch Dose of Dirt. I watch Short Guy Beta Works. I watch Crowflies Hiking. I watched Darwin when Darwin, he just recently quit. I watched a little bit of Dixie. Trying to think of other channels that I tune into regularly. I'm pretty much subscribed to all those, and if they come through my feed and they catch my attention, that is the importance of thumbnails. If they catch my attention, I will go watch them.
He watches YouTube while he folds laundry.
I do, yes.
Or washes dishes.
Girl Plus Dog is another one that I will watch regularly.
I saw that they commented earlier
Yes.
that they carry 25 pounds of food for them and their dog. That's
Yeah, no, she's crazy. She carries a lot of weight.
I don't know that I love my dog that much, but
I'm carrying on this trip that I'm doing next week. I'm carrying more water than I am food. I have more weight in water than I am food, which I guess is probably normal. But if you weren't filtering all the time, it would be normal. So, all right. So we're right here at the end of the broadcast. Thank you so much for subscribing. 25,000 subscribers. I'm blown away. I can't wait for the next 25,000 subscribers. Can't wait till we get to 50. I'm hoping to grow a whole lot this year. I'm excited about some of the stuff we got coming up, some of the gear that I'm going to be testing, some of the trips we're going to be going on. My wife was telling me just the other day that when we hit 50,000 subscribers, which is a ways from now, I realize, when we hit 50,000 subscribers, we're going to do a Would You Rather Q&A live stream where you can submit different scenarios about backpacking, like would you rather hike with only one leg, or
I'm really good at coming up with
I
would
don't
you
even know.
rathers.
Yeah, or would you rather be blind as you hike in the backcountry? And I'll answer what I would rather do. And so that'll be for 50,000 subscribers. We'll do another giveaway. Really excited about that. Thank you again so much for watching, liking, subscribing. Thank you, Short Guy Beta Works, for $10. And I'm so excited about the content we got coming up. Even next week, we got a video already loaded because I'm going to be out of town next week. And so be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. I don't know how to finish a live stream. And as always, thanks for watching. That's what I always say.
Is that what you say always? Okay.
And as always, thanks for watching. I look straight in the camera and I say it. And as always.
You don't look to the right?
Thanks for watching. I might look to the right before I say it.
Okay.
All right. Signing off. Thank you guys.
Thanks.